Let's look at ways you can screw yourself over with your child maintenance payments. First of all, paying early. If you pay early, who's to say that early payment isn't a late payment from the month before? Who's to say it's not a gift? This is the problem you have. If you stick to the schedule, you won't have a problem. Just stick to the schedule. If it tells you to pay on a Wednesday, you pay on a Wednesday. If it tells you to pay on the first of the month, you pay on the first of the month. Paying early may benefit the receiving parent, but doesn't benefit the paying parent. They leave themselves open to trouble. Paying late. Obviously, if you pay late, you risk being put on collect and pay. CMS allow the paying parent up to 3 days grace for things such as standing orders over bank holidays. And as I record this over the Christmas period, we've got several bank holidays. And therefore, if you pay by standing order and your payment doesn't go up because it's a bank holiday, you're okay. Now, receiving parents can report you for a late payment after 3 working days. So if you haven't paid within 3 working days, you're definitely screwing yourself over. So I'd strongly advise you not to do that. Now, paying under. If you pay under, that's considered to be a missed payment. So if you're supposed to pay £500 and you pay £495, the CMS computer will initially record that you haven't paid £500. All right, so don't pay under. Now, paying over, that can also get you into trouble, because how can you prove that by paying over you were paying the amount that you should have been paying? It's very easy to say yes, he paid over because he agreed to pay for the children's holiday, he agreed to pay for the Christmas presents, etc. So only ever pay the exact amount. Never pay under, never pay over, never pay early, never pay late. Now, the other way to screw yourself over is to start thinking about paying lump sums. The CMS is produced annually and it sets out a payment schedule for the next 12 months. Those dates, that your liability is to pay on those dates for those amounts. Now, if you pay a lump sum, great, might be okay in the first month, but 2 months, 3 months down the line, the receiving parent can go to the CMS and say, they've not paid me for the last 3 months. Okay, and the lump sum you paid will just get not counted because the receiving parent has said that you haven't paid. They can turn around and say, the lump sum was for Christmas presents, it was for a holiday, it was for this, it was that, it was for any reason they want. Okay, so don't pay lump sums. I hear people say, what if I get a solicitor's agreement? Well, that means nothing, okay? If you get a child maintenance agreement through the court, the CMS case needs to be shut, okay? It needs to be closed, not shut, it needs to be closed, all right? You can't have a private agreement whilst having a CMS case. And the thing is, I see this every month. I see every month on various different Facebook groups that I'm part of to do with child maintenance, people saying things such as, we got a divorce, and as part of that divorce, I gave her my share of the house. Or as part of that divorce, I gave her the car. Or I gave her a lump sum of money. Or I agreed to pay the school fees. Or this, or that. Now, 12 months later, my ex has taken me to the CMS and they're now expecting me to pay hundreds of pounds per month. What do? Well, to be honest, you've been screwed over, because the rules, the law allows the other person, the receiving parent, to go to the CMS 12 months after the agreement has been struck. That's just the way it is. The Secretary of State is allowed to open the CMS case, all right, and take it from there. So you will get screwed over. So again, agreeing a lump sum as part of a divorce settlement for child maintenance does not stop you becoming liable for future child maintenance payments, all right? And then, of course, the other type of lump sum is the unofficial lump sum, where two parties say, well, let's split up, you pay me this and I won't go to child maintenance. That has got no legal standing whatsoever, all right? So don't screw yourself over, don't agree lump sums. Of course, the other difficulty with lump sums is you may agree a lump sum today, okay, on the 1st of January maybe, But what then happens is the circumstances change. What if the receiving parent dies? You've just paid them a lump sum. What if the child dies? You've just paid a lump sum to the receiving parent. What if the child isn't yours? Well, you've paid a lump sum. What if the child moves overseas? You've paid a lump sum and you wouldn't have been liable to pay that. Okay. What if you lose your income? Well, you've paid a lump sum and those payments you made beforehand are irrelevant. You've lost your income. You've paid for a period of liability when you're not actually liable. Because if you're on nil rate, then you're going to pay nothing. Now, I saw someone recently asked a question. He said, my partner's about to become sick, go long-term sick. How do we pay up front for the next year? Well, the answer is you don't. Because if they go long-term sick, all right, then that brings your liability down to nil in some cases. Now, obviously as well, if you lose your job and you go into benefits, that lump sum of money you paid that was going to be quite useful to you, you won't have. So please, please, please don't buck the system, all right? Just stick to the CMS schedule. If you stick to the schedule, you can't go wrong. If you stick to the schedule, you're not going to have text messages telling you haven't paid. If you stick to the schedule, you're not going to be getting those letters saying you've been put on the DEO. If you stick to the schedule, no one's going to take anything from your bank account. Just stick to the schedule. Never pay early, never pay late, never pay under, never pay over. Avoid lump sums. Lump sums are, for most of you, a trap. Just scroll through the Facebook groups and you'll see on there lots of people saying they've been caught out by a lump sum. And the other sort of lump sum agreement to watch out for is the private agreement. So if you have a CMS case running, neither party can negotiate with the other party what maintenance they pay. All right. You may think you're doing a good thing. You may think you've got a good deal when your ex suddenly doesn't want £500 a month, but she's happy with £450 as long as you pay for this and this and this. You may think you've got a good deal, but when it goes sour, it will go sour. The other party will report you for not paying the CMS amount. And as I've said already, if you underpay, it's treated as a missed payment. And you don't want missed payments because then you end up on a DEO. You end up paying a £50 admin charge to have the money taken out of your account, and you have another 20% added to your CMS bill each month. So don't do it. Please just always stick to the schedule. Okay. Now, if there's a change in, for example, and it benefits you, you can't just change it yourself. There has to be a scheduled change, all right? So if there's a change that benefits you and you're the paying parent, you now need to tell CMS. And CMS will take some time to process that. I've had share care changes that have taken 4 to 6 months. That's quite normal, unfortunately. But what you can't do is adjust your payments in between. Because if you do that, you'll be put on collect and pay. And you'll be put on collect and pay literally within 2 weeks. All right, and within a month, the money may be deducted from your bank account. All right, sorry, from your wages. All right, and then of course, what could happen is the change that's in your favour is recognised, and they make the change. So in theory, you pay less. But guess what? Because you didn't stick to the schedule, you're still going to be on collect and pay. They will keep you on collect and pay. And if you go on collect and pay for enforcement purposes, you are on there for 12 months. Actually, you're probably on there for 14 months because after 6 months, you can ask for a DEO to be removed. You can ask to go to direct debit or standing order payments. Okay. Now, the CMS won't action that until you've got 6 payments. All right. Now, bear in mind that your employer, when they